Alright, hello there. Today we're doing a Vanaduke run because that's what people keep asking me to do, so let's just get into it. Let's see. We are gonna go with this loadout. So, it's very simple. There's nothing special about this one. It's actually just a Vanaduke run. I promised this a while ago. Finally getting around to recording a new one because the old one just wasn't good enough. The recording frame rate was just really bad for some reason. Hopefully this one goes a bit better. We'll see. I've got the game set on low for this one just in case. So we've got Black Cat, Swift Stripe Buckler, 1 charge time, 1 attack speed drink, that lets us get attack speed max. 2 mixers, attack speed very high and an attack speed medium one. Both end up having maximum, which is what matters. This one also has charge time. The charge time will never matter in this run because I just won't use the charge attack. The Soaker, it only has charge time ultra because I've been trying to UV it again, so it's at attack speed medium, charge time low, attack speed max, ultra, charge time after UVs. And the Ember Driver's got max attack speed and max charge time. Excellent. For a Sprite Perker running movement speed because it's more fun that way, and that's all there is to it. I'm also using the Shadow Harness on the Snarb for no reason whatsoever because I'll never use the Quills. Frankly, it just looks nicer on the Snarb than the other harnesses. That's it. So yes, for those who do play Spiral Knights, it's Vanaduke, you know. I'm not sure if there's anything to be gained from this. I doubt I'll be using any tactics that you haven't already seen before if you play the game actively. You never know, I guess. For those who don't play Spiral Knights, it's probably my favorite game ever made. Is it the best game ever made? The answer's no. But it's really good. The community's awesome, the end game is fantastic, and the early game is just horrible. So, it's hard to get into, but once you do get into it, it's just really good. It plays so smoothly. As you will probably see in this run if you subscribe for MXM or for Gaia. Actually, I should probably talk about MXM really quickly because a lot of people have subscribed to me for Spiral Knights in particular. MXM is a game that is very similar to Spiral Knights, and the main reason I'm playing it is because Spiral Knights just isn't getting many content updates anymore, and it hasn't been for a while. So, with that being the case, I have to find something else to play. I will eventually probably get bored of Spiral Knights. I still really enjoy the game, but there's only so much I can actually record as well, and a lot of my friends have just stopped playing it. MXM is a bit of a breath of fresh air because it's very similar to Spiral Knights, maybe not identical, but it's the closest game that has probably ever been released. And I'm really enjoying it. It has some extremely difficult PvE missions. Those familiar with Spiral Knights will know what Shadow Layers are like, which are like super difficult missions. MXM has that as well in the form of Nightmare missions, but instead of being 4 of them, there's 25. And these aren't like, oh, it's a, you know, the enemies have more health or something. No, it's like a Shadow Layer. The run is redesigned, there's new floors, there's new boss patterns, it's really cool. And every level has its own boss, which is also really neat. So there's 25 different bosses. Can you imagine if Spiral Knights had that? That would be so cool. I'd be extremely happy. The other thing is the missions aren't put into tiers. They're all endgame. So if you run Nightmare, you know what to expect. It's going to be brutally difficult. In Spiral Knights, the only thing that's like that is the Shadow Layers. Otherwise, Vanaduke is the only endgame boss run. So yeah. It's quite a lovely game. I'm glad it exists. The one thing that might drive some people away is the fact that it's by NCSoft, and they've made Wildstar and they made Blade of Soul. Some people really like Blade and Soul. I know my girlfriend in particular really loves it. Other people don't like NCSoft just because they've had questionable decisions, especially on the marketing side of things. They don't always advertise their games too well. Very similar to Spiral Knights, which just never has advertising. And their price schemes are really weird. Like, if you play MXM, you'll notice that the characters cost a lot if you buy them with real money. It's interesting. They really cost more than they should. I'd recommend just actually playing the game to earn them, because it's not too bad that way. If you plan on buying real stuff, oh boy, you're in for a fun surprise that everything's really expensive. So yes, definitely some sketchy decisions over there. The game itself is fantastic. As for this Vanna run, first floor is extremely easy. Now I think one thing worth pointing out is that a lot of Spiral Knights' success comes from Vanaduke being such a good mission. It's the farming mission, and if it wasn't good, people would stop playing the game, but this is one of the best designed missions I've ever seen in any game. The run is just... it's just perfect. At least very close to perfect. It's probably as close as you can get in this kind of game. The enemy placement is fantastic. The floors are all memorable. There's nothing that feels homogeneous in the run. Everything's got its own unique stick going on. For example, the first floor is this linear hallway, but then the second floor becomes some, it's a sprite collecting zone where you just get to choose which rooms you do. The rooms are all unique. It's really cool. And the other thing is that it's viable for all playstyles. Bomber maybe less so just based on the bombs that are available, but you can still technically use any weapon in this run and do well. It's just so well designed. I guess the most comparable thing would be, think Mario level 1-1. Everyone knows about level 1-1, everyone can just picture right away. Okay, there's the Goomba at the start, there's the item boxes, one's got a mushroom, one's got a coin, it teaches you about that. This is very similar. Start has these wheel traps coming at you right from the get-go. You immediately know, oh hey, those are wheels, they're hitting the enemies that are above me, now I know I should avoid the wheels. Awesome. There's no tutorial for any of these, they're just introducing new mechanics and you find out just by playing the game. Oh hey, that's what this'll do, that's what this'll do. Awesome. It's really cool. I love it when a game doesn't hold your hand. If you patronize your players, they might think the game is just too easy, and in Vanaduke's case, this run used to be considered really difficult. Back when the game first came out, if you could beat this game, or beat this run, you were considered just a legend, especially solo. Now there were numerous factors to that, one being that trinkets weren't actually readily available, there was only the crappy defense trinkets, and occasionally heart trinkets from love puppies, but you couldn't actually craft any of them. And the other thing is that there was no punch, so you couldn't roll UVs on your weapons. So Blitz Needle was not actually considered a good weapon at the time, in fact it was considered bottom tier. And the reason being that nobody could roll CTR on it. You have to just intentionally craft autoguns to find out that, oh hey, once you have CTR, this weapon's awesome. If you don't have CTR, the weapon sucks. Chaos Cloak wasn't a thing in its current state. Right now it gives CTR and damage medium. Or was it CTR and damage? I believe it's CTR damage. I haven't actually used Chaos in a long time myself, but it's like the quintessential new endgame gear. Wasn't around in that state at the time, so you had to choose, like, oh, do I want to use a Justifier jacket, or do I want to use a Setsun, or... They just had way worse bonuses. Instead of having 2 mediums, they just had 1. So, people couldn't readily decide, oh hey, let's just get the Chaos going. Also, crafting gear was more expensive back then, because you had to pay energy, you couldn't just farm orbs, they didn't exist yet. So, a lot of decisions and experimentation just ended up not being done. Also, the run itself was actually harder, at least the boss was. They had to nerf this run because it was too difficult. Vanaduke had this thing where he just keeps spawning infinite slags. If you stood around and he spawned slags, it wouldn't despawn the old ones. So right now, when he spawns slags, the current ones are killed off. That was not a thing back then. So there was a flat DPS check. If you don't have enough DPS, you're not going to be able to kill all the slags, new ones will spawn, eventually this screen is just slags. It was horrifying. So you really needed to have that 5-star gear. Yes, leveling up gear was easier, but upgrading it to the next star level was more expensive, so... Another big reason people didn't get here, and also because elevators cost 10 CE each, or mist energy, but... Let's be real here, you could hardly play off of 100 mist a day, when each floor was costing 10. So yes, it was absolutely terrible. You basically were forced into spending real money if you wanted to really experience the game back then. We got a rock slime, that is always nice. Nowadays it's not so much a problem because people have so much time to practice the run, people have farmed it for ages. But yeah, back then it was a big deal. I still find the run so fun though. There's just something about it. I guess it also helps that the Mixmaster is such a satisfying weapon. Although the run is still fun with every other weapon too, you feel the screen shake, you feel things just explode. The projectiles you have to aim or make them ricochet back at the enemies by moving into their path. It's just a fantastically designed weapon. I really wish this thing was available to more players, because as it stands, the Mixmaster is just absurdly expensive if you were to get one now. Costing around 130k CE, so 12 million crowns for a single clean Mixmaster. That is... It's just so expensive. It's not feasible to farm, you basically have to merge it. At least the orbit gun's like half the price, but it's not quite the same, you know? Don't have that shock added on, it's almost objectively worse than the mixer in most runs, because shock is such a powerful status effect. I think I can just hit this Trojan without much worry and dash through that. Perfect. So yes, the question is, should I clear 6 rooms or should I clear 7? Obviously not doing the wheel room because it's just boring and has like 6 enemies that spawn in total. I think I might as well just clear 7. I feel like 7 is the number of rooms that you would actually do on a farming run without having wasted time. Plus all 7 of these rooms are really neat. The wheel room I think is less neat, but it's good for newer players because there's not as much to fight. So I can understand why it's there, and it's nice that you're not forced into doing it as well. Of course, everything just melting under the awesome power of my kitchen implements. We will break that block so that when I grab the sprite I can just walk right through, much easier that way. And yeah, let's just go for this. Just gonna drink some water real quick. Alright. Making sure not to move up because it spawns some slags and a Trojan. Is there harm in it? Not much. Potentially. I just would rather not get hit if I can avoid it. Will this be a hitless run? I don't know. I'm not trying to make it one. Sometimes it ends up being one anyways. That would be cool, I guess. Boom. A Trojan is dead. But yes, I've played this run so many times that by this point, it's almost second nature to me what to do, where to do it. It might not be obvious if you've just started playing the game for whatever reason. Certain enemies will spawn in certain places, so you position accordingly. But to those who have played the game for a while, this probably all makes sense to you. Getting a little bit of lag because of the recording program. You can see my ping is almost perfect at the top right. But the game itself is still a little bit of input lag. Recording software tends to do that. For the first few minutes it's always fine, and then it slows down gradually. If I leave it on for over an hour, the run will almost always corrupt. So, we try to avoid doing that. I could split it up into multiple parts, but I find it's just easier to watch something all in one place. Oh, and you'll see a little bit of a jump forwards from the lag. Lovely. As the worst part of the run is carrying back of the sprites. You need to bring 6 into the middle to proceed. So we just walk for them. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get a movement speed orb. Still takes a while if you do, but it's not as bad. Let's see. I also just noticed there's a little gap in the map right there. There's like a single block of gap. I wonder what the reason is for that. Maybe they just forgot to fill it in. Oh no, there was a slag left alive. How horrible. And I am just grabbing the boxes because, again, it is what you would normally do in a Vanaduke run. Might as well. We'll just... I promised a normal Vanaduke run, that's what I intend to deliver. Do I actually need to farm the crowns? The answer is probably not. I don't even know what more I could want. I guess the only thing I'd ever want is the new Soaker UV. Do you need that charge time medium or higher? Preferably VH though. I'll probably end up single rolling it for a VH and then double rolling to get the attack speed medium back. That'd be the cheapest way to do it. Costs about 8.5 million crowns if I do it that way. On average, unless I get very lucky, like I did with the Mixmaster. But it's reasonable. It's doable. The only downside is that I could have sold those 8.5 million crowns for just over $100. It's very expensive to UV gear in this game. Soakers are impossible to find, especially near godly ones. Always the dilemma. Is it worth the insane amount of real-life money to get near-perfect gear? The answer is probably no. But I just enjoy the game so much that to me it might be. I've also heard other people say to me, like, if you merch for the money, it's not as though you actually spent the money. And I feel like that's not quite the case, because in reality, if you could have sold the thing for that much money, that's basically how much money you're spending on it, right? I figure that makes more sense if you could sell this gold bar for $500 and you just, like, found it on the street. Obviously, a very small gold bar at that point, but let's say you find one. So you could sell it for $500, or you could feed it to the dog next to you. For some reason, it's just a dog that eats gold bars, okay? If you feed it to the dog, you're basically feeding the dog $500. Like, you finding the gold bar does not have any impact on its value. And in a similar way, even if I have merch for the crowns, the opportunity cost is still there. I merch for the money, I'm basically working to get money, right? And then after that, okay, I could spend it on UVs, or I could buy TF2 keys and then sell them off. Well, if I choose not to buy the TF2 keys, I'm basically losing the money that those keys are worth, which is unfortunate. And lately I've actually been selling a few TF2 keys for crowns again, largely to UV that one Mixmaster. Ended up costing me very little. I spent like 1 point something mil crowns on it in total. 2 runs, one was like 1 mil. And then the other one... Actually, no. Yeah, it was just over a mil the first run. And the second run was 100k. 5 rolls and I got the VH. Which is really great. Also, the Umbra driver. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I UV'd. Ended up costing me, I think it was 20 TF2 keys to UV both of these. Which is insanely cheap, all things considered. Because I got ASI VH and then a CTR VH and ASI Med Umbra driver. I got really damn lucky with that. And the reason being I actually screwed up at first. I got CTR high, and then I planned to keep it in double UV. And instead of keeping it, I forgot to check the keep the CTR high thing. So I was like hitting myself basically. This is just, oh my god, I unchecked the high, I'm gonna lose it. And then it rolled VH. So it just didn't matter. It was absolutely beautiful and like probably the second biggest stroke of luck I've ever had in this game. I think the biggest stroke of luck I've had was unboxing 2 sleep file bandos. Even though that was over the course of hundreds of titanium lockboxes. The fact that I got the 2 sleep bandos so close together was a big deal for me at the time. But yeah, this Umbra driver thing, I'd say that's a definite close second. The odds of that happening were extremely low. Seeing as a chance of a VH is 2%, so the chance of a higher was only 7%, and then the chance of it rolling a CTR in particular was 1 in 8. Extremely low odds, clearly. Basically a 1 in 400 chance of this exact outcome happening. I suppose 2 in 400 because I was doing double line rolls, but still, that's low. That's really low. Alright, Trojan, if you could just, thank you. Much appreciated. Trojan AI, very easy to manipulate once you've played the game enough. They always shock if you stand next to them for a certain amount of time. I think as you stand near them, a little invisible counter starts to tick up. Once that counter reaches full, they use the shock move. If you move away for too long, the counter resets. So just by standing next to them for a little while, we blow them apart. Ordinarily I would flash charge this, but I don't actually want to sacrifice the few seconds of movement speed. So I can flash charge a later wave and then have less wasted. I'm gonna pop the stealth after I kill this thing, because stealthing takes a few frames anyways. This way we waste as little as possible. Kill 3 slags with a flash charge, so that's good. I also, I should have recorded my hands for this. I don't know if any of you have ever looked down at your hands while you play Spiral Knights, but it's hilarious how fast the movements are. Like, it feels so second nature at this point, but the one time that I recorded my hands and actually looked down, I was just, I don't know, it was amazing. I was not expecting it, but your hands just move a million miles a minute. It's kind of hilarious. I really should have brought my webcam for this. Maybe next time. Basically I have my perfect consumables loadout. I only actually need 1 poison vial barrier and then poison vial barrier, just poison barrier in general. And that's for Vanaduke's first phase. And then the remedies and health capsules I like having. I don't think I've actually been hit this run yet, so that's neat. I probably will be hit at some point, maybe I won't, I don't know. Regardless, it doesn't matter too much. At this point, I just like having them, you know? It's a bit of a comfort thing. Remedies on 1, health pills on 2, barriers on 3, and then the 4th slot doesn't matter in most runs. That's my general go-to. Bit of lag again. I think it's not been going on long enough that it'll crash, but it's still a bit of an annoyance when it has those little spikes. If this recording software weren't so good as far as quality goes, I probably wouldn't be using it. But Camtasia's actual quality when you render the runs is just... it's fantastic. There's very little required. Oh god, look at that lag spike. That's just lovely. But yes, the actual video editing is extremely easy. There's nothing that needs to be touched up. The colors are all there. The resolution is just great. Sometimes it's 1080, sometimes it's 720, depends on the size of what I'm actually recording, but it's always lovely. The audio is another thing altogether. Camtasia has some audio editing built in. The main thing is it removes the noise of the fan that's in my background. I have this fan that is running in the summer because it's so hot, and Camtasia automatically picks that up and removes it, which is really cool. I'm quite grateful for that. That's probably the biggest bit of actual editing that goes into these. I don't spend much time on the videos, I just kind of like recording for whatever reason. But yes, the biggest thing is the audio editing. You have to make sure there's no skips. Nothing sounds off. If the pitches are off, or if it's desynced, it's just not an enjoyable run. So, I always try to make sure to do that. Sometimes it will desync, and then it's a bit of a pain because you have to readjust it. I should have been charging this earlier. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong phase. Please forgive me, I am apparently a newbie at this run. That is the first mistake we've made. And by we, I mean I. I'm not sure why I default to saying we. It's not like anyone else is playing with me right now. Unless I'm actually 2 midgets in an overcoat. Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm not a midgetologist. Would not know these things. Ooh, unfortunate. Using the Amber Driver because it doesn't keep me standing still as long. That's all good. That Trojan has learned to moonwalk. What a master at its craft. Incredible. I also... okay, another thing. It's the little subtle details about this run that make it so good. Those 2 turrets at the bottom. Not only do they have less health, but they also face slightly in the wrong direction intentionally. Because the camera view does not always pick up the bottom of the screen, those 2 particular turrets are faced away so they don't shoot at you when you can't see them yet. It's the little details like that that make me think this run is just perfection. Because it works around the game's limitations so well. Now I am going to grab this water. Hopefully the statue's on the right. It'll save us a little bit of time if it is. It is wonderful. Thank you, game. Much appreciated. There is some slight randomness with statue placements in 2 locations of this run. They're not a big deal, it's just slightly inconvenient if they don't spawn there. Maybe that's the worst part of the run, is that mild randomness. But then again, it keeps you on your toes. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or not. I don't question it, because the rest of the run is just unquestionably amazing. Going to mixer break the blocks so that I don't have to wait for it to despawn so that I can hit the Trojan immediately. Walk on the fire trap because blocks spawn in the middle and would do half a bar of health to me, which would make this no longer a hitless run if that did happen. It still might not end up being a hitless run, but it's going, so there's no sense in randomly throwing it away, I guess. And there's another Vitapod, a slight upgrade. Entirely useless in this particular case, but that's okay. I am fine with getting one anyways. I should have actually cleared the right side out. That's the second mistake I've made this run. Clearing out the right side would have made more sense, because then I could have just strafed and killed the left side slowly. As for why I'm leaving the Trojan up, is it a mistake? probably at the same time, I just kind of like killing out all the Trojans at the same time if I'm not going for a speedrun. There's just something more satisfying about killing all the little enemies first and then killing the Trojans one at a time. I don't know. That's just me. Okay, now come at me, bro. Assassinate that one, and we're good to go. Do I get the flash charge? I do. Wonderful. Strafing up and down so the Trojan doesn't aggro me immediately. Now it can do that and I can kill it. It killed its friend! What a horrible thing. Its friend's, like, stone body was just sitting there, minding its own business, and then that had to happen. How horrible. Get these super secret bonus boxes. These things were unknown for about a year or two after the game came out, because there was no minimap. And at first there was actually a glitch that prevented the switch from spawning that blue block. But then after they fixed the glitch, people still didn't realize that was a thing for quite a while. It's pretty well hidden, and without the minimap, honestly, you might not pick up on it. Someone finally just happened to notice the blue block there, and then everyone's piled onto that secret area ever since. Fun facts. Another interesting thing is that everyone used to use the Divine Avenger when the Blitz was considered crap, because the Divine Avenger was actually stronger back then. It had to get a nerf for being outright the best sword ever made. It was way too strong. Now it's basically garbage tier instead because they over-nerfed it, and the Voltage is best in slot instead. Even back then I used to use swords, or a sword, just because the Divine Avenger was so good. And its clear time on Vanna was outright above everything else. I still liked using guns more, but I just couldn't get the same clear times without the DA. So I had to sacrifice my gun loving until the Blitz Needle became good from punch being a thing. It's going to go into mask phase from that. I can pop him and then flash charge it to kill a mask instantly. All's good. Water, E, charge, kill. Done. Okay. It's just habit at this point. It's basically muscle memory. Charge attack goes off so that they hit as soon as his invincibility wears off, because I have wasted my life playing this run too much. Gonna get pushed away just far enough that the slags don't jump at me. I can probably kill off that slag. Excellent. I'll kill off the other two just so that I don't get hit by them. Good. Okay. Pound the ground. Good. Okay. I bound auto lock, auto target, whatever it's called, to control, just because it lets me check the enemy health bars. It's actually quite a nice feature to be able to do that. I also got very lucky and not a single fire spawned down there. There's only the two up there that just don't matter at all. Boom, boom, charge, wait for it to hit one, flash charge it, it's dead. Okay. Trojan spawns over here. I can get off one charge attack on Vanna and then immediately charge again and kill the Trojan. Only possible at charge time ultra or higher, and only if you perfectly time the first charge, or at least very near it. But because I've played the game too much, I do. Excellent. Aim at where he's going to, because that's more sensible, of course. And now I'm just going to back off for a second. Flash charge will be up soon. Is that done? Did I miss that? What? There's no way that was out of range, right? Oh, it just wasn't enough damage. Interesting. Would have thought that'd be a kill. And there you go, okay. It was accidentally a hitless run. That's always good. And there's Vanaduke for you. I guess I can now be the, oh, what is that called? The clickbaits. Yeah, we're just gonna call it, oh my god, incredible hitless Vanaduke run. 100%. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if I should include hitless in the title. I guess I might as well. There's like no downside to it, but it's Vanna. Thank you all for watching though. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was everything you could have wanted and so much more. I doubt it will be, but if it was, awesome. If it wasn't, I'm terribly sorry. Oh, right, the last thing I'm going to ask for input on. For the MXM videos, I know a lot of you that watch the Spiral Knights videos are watching the MXM ones, and probably realizing that the game is so similar. I was wondering what to do on the titles of those ones. So far, I've been trying to solo all of the runs in Nightmare mode, and ideally being the first person in the game to clear them. There's somewhere that's not the case, but I think I'll be the first person to clear more than half of the runs. So that's cool. Should I include that in the title or not? Because right now I'm just saying it's solo Nightmare and then whatever mission. Is that exciting enough? Is it okay for you? I don't know. I don't care about the views, but I do care about the people who are already watching, and just... if it's boring, feel free to say so and I'll be like, okay, we'll pick a new title. That's pretty much all I want to ask. Thank you all again, and have a good one.